human movement type stuff rather than the full-on sweaty circuit. So we'll go through the mobility stuff, just moving around. Basic, I think we'll do some balance stuff today. And then we'll do a quick 5-minute circuit where we move around a little bit and get a good moving start to the day. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to start by standing. We're going to start standing up. So this is sort of a little bit of a balancing start to the day. And we're also working on some hip mobility, core strength, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we'll stand, and you're going to stand on one foot. All right, so just getting moving here. Usually we start on the floor with this kind of class, but we're going to start standing up this time. So all we're going to do here is just stand on one foot. All right, so we start to get our balance dialed in for the morning. Just standing on that one foot, let your foot make little corrections. So as you're balancing on one foot, you're just kind of finding your center. All right, so next thing you're going to do is you're going to reach as far forward as you can. So this will probably look like an SLDL. You're going to stand on that one foot, reach as far forward as you can, like you're trying to grab something off of a shelf in front of you. And then you're going to stay on that same foot. We're going to reach as far backwards as you can, staying on that same foot. And let's reach forward again. We're going to do this 3 times total. So reaching as far forward as you can, trying to grab that thing in front of you. Then we reach as far back as you can. It'll help if you look at the ceiling or look up as you do that. It's also going to challenge your balance quite a bit. Last time, reaching forward for that, whatever you're reaching for. And reaching back over your head as far as you can. Good, all right, let's switch feet. So switch feet, we're gonna do that same thing on the other side. Reaching forward. And reaching back over your head. Reaching forward, again, just getting your hips dialed in here, your feet, your shins warmed up. Finding that balance point. You may figure out that you have one foot that's not quite as good as the other. Mine is my left. So after we reach forward and backward, we're going to go back to your original foot. So start on the foot that you started on before. So there's 3 planes of movement here, like so your body can move in 3 different planes of movement. We're just going to move through all 3 of these, balancing on one foot. So now you're going to reach as far out to the side as you can. You're standing on one foot. You're trying to reach for that wall that's next to you. Reach out as far as you can there. And we're going to go to the other side. Obviously, the other side, you're not going to be able to reach as far, but if you're reaching left, you'll be reaching with your left hand. So you may be crossing behind, so reaching as far as you can over here. Staying on that one foot. And we reach out. If you're reaching right, you should be moving with your right hand. If you're reaching left, you should be reaching with your left hand. So we reach out. Last time. So figure out what you need to do to balance to reach out as far as you possibly can. All right, shake that foot out a little bit. We're going to work to the other side here. For me, I got my left side is second, so we're going to reach out as far as you can. And then the other side, reaching across your body. Remember, we're not really rotating here yet. Think of yourself as working between 2 walls, right? So we want to Stay in that plane as though you have a wall right in front of your nose and a wall right behind your back. There's not a lot of rotation here. We're just trying to slide along that plane. Last time, reaching out. And last time, reaching across the body. And good. The last plane we can move in, so we can move forward and backward. We've moved side to side, and now we're going to rotate. So we'll go back to the original foot, the one that you started on, right? So now you're going to take, standing on one foot, you're going to rotate and think about trying to get that thing that's behind you. You're going to take that, and then you're going to rotate the other way. Try to put it back on the other side. So we're just rotating over that foot, reaching as far as you can, opening up. Reaching as far as you can this way. Again, we're going to do it 3 times. Big rotation here. Your toes won't move, or sorry, your foot won't pivot on the ground. It should be on your second foot by now. All right, so we're just going to get into some kind of start warming up a squat movement here. So hands will go on front of your thighs. You're just pushing your hips back, right? So it's almost like you're resting, like hands on knees, right? So we're working on that hip hinge. We stand up, hands are still on thighs. So we down to that resting position, coming up. So let's do about 10 of these. You don't have to put weight on your hands, but we are just going to let your hands slide right down your thighs. We're working on that hip hinge movement. You should be able to keep your chin back. Okay, so we're going to start with that same kind of movement, except now we're just going to go down farther into a squat. So that first part was just kind of to get you to start moving your hips back first, right? So if you're holding a weight here, the first thing that would happen is your hips would go back. So we'll use that same kind of motion to start, and then we're just going to sit down and come up. So we're just doing some bodyweight squats here. Trying to think of your feet nice and flat on the floor. Working yourself lower and lower as we go. We are going to end up on the floor here, just so you know. So we're working our way down towards the floor today rather than working from the floor up. Let's do about 10 of these bodyweight squats. First thing that happens is hips push back. You should still be able to look forward though. All right, when you're ready, we're going to work our way down towards the ground. So maybe that's sitting low. So I use a weight usually, especially right in the beginning, so it can hold a weight out in front. So it acts as sort of a counterbalance. So it'd be something like this. As I sit down, I use that weight to get out in front. So if you want that to help, that can help. We can also just work our way down towards the floor. Okay, just to get stretched out in this position, we use a foam roller. You can also use couch cushions, whatever you got around. But we're just gonna sit onto that roller. And we're just getting used to this squat position here. So I'm sitting on top of the roller. I've got some weight through my feet, but I've also got weight on the roller. So this is just a really easy way to get into that. You might call it a potty squat position. Sometimes early in the morning, it doesn't work as well to sit low into a nice deep squat, but the roller can help you. So what you'll do is just bring your heels as close to the roller as you can. And then you're gonna put as much weight into your feet as you can as you sit tall and chest is up. Pushing those knees out. So right now I'm using my elbows to kind of push my knees out away from each other. So we get a nice hip stretch here. And we're also working our way down into that squat position. All right, so from here, let's see if we can lean forward, put all your weight into your feet, and stand up. So it's more of just a weight shift. It's not necessarily going to be a lean where you're really visibly leaning forward. So we're just going to go back down and try to sit on top of the roller. And working your way back up. So if deep squats like this are not your thing, you can always use a chair. So for example, I don't think anybody's sat in this chair for years, so if it breaks, I wouldn't be surprised. Same rules apply here. If you're sitting down, hips push back, right? So my hips are gonna push back, sitting down into the chair, and then coming back up. So it's really the same thing. Just depends on how low you're going. And if you can comfortably sit into a squat, you don't have to use the roller, then that's kind of where we want to be anyway. So, but we're just working on coming up and down. Nice team effort. With everything, you shouldn't feel like one muscle takes the majority of the effort, but we're just moving up and down. Okay, let's sit down one more time. And then we'll stand. And good, let's move the rollers out of the way. And we'll go ahead and have a seat on the floor. So after sitting on the floor, you're just gonna grab your knees. We're gonna start to do a little rocking here. So you should be kind of like an egg rolling on the countertop. So as you come up to the top, we're gonna try to roll and feel it out so that your heels don't hit the ground. So we should be kind of balanced here, rocking back, come back up so that your heels don't touch the ground. Just rolling up and back with that good control. Then once you're ready, we'll take hands off of knees. So now we're just holding here. And good. One last thing we're going to try. We're going to try to, let's say your feet are facing one way and you want to scooch and turn yourself to the other side. So we're going to try to rock your way over there. Okay, obviously no hands on the floor. The way you do that is you think about going down on one side of your spine and back up on the other. Down on one side of your spine, back up on the other. Boy, I wish I could see a lot of you guys in the camera. So working your way back and forth. This is a nice way to start to put a little light flexion on your back. Kind of massage your back into a good start today. And good, let's try the other direction if you haven't already. We'll spend about 10, 15 more seconds here. And good. All right, so while we're on the floor, we're gonna go into that, actually we won't do 90-90 today, but let's sit tall. You're gonna sit up nice and tall and bring this heel in as close to your butt as you can. So we're sitting up tall, giving it a hug. At this point here, you should be much taller than your knee, so don't let yourself slump down. We're gonna sit tall, bringing one foot in, keep your other foot straight out. And we switch. So we're just bringing your heel in as close as you can to your butt, giving it a hug. Pull your other toe, your straight leg, pull your toes back towards your chin. So we're sitting up nice and tall. And switch back to the original side. One more switch. So you're trying to get your heel as close to your butt as you can while keeping both butt bones on the ground. So you should have both butt bones on the ground here. All right, so we're gonna switch again, go back to the original foot. Now, if you need to use fingertips to help, you can, but we're gonna start to put weight on that foot. So I just shifted my weight forward onto the foot, and then we'll switch. And we shift weight forward onto the foot again. If full knee flexion isn't your thing, or if it bugs your knees, just modify this as you need to. Just don't bring your foot in as far. Okay, but if full knee flexion, like where your calves touch the back of your thighs, if that doesn't bug you, then we'll go into full knee flexion here. All right, so working your way into that. Eventually what we want is to be able to rock up onto that foot without the use of your hands. All right, so we rock forward, balance on that foot for a second. Rock forward, balance on that foot for just a second. So here, if you can see from the side, as I rock forward, I'm bringing my butt up off the ground. Check in, see how we're doing there. So lots of mobility here, lots of hip stability, balance. Again, if you need fingertips to help you kind of rock forward and get up onto that foot, you can use that. All right, last bit of hip mobility we're gonna do here. We're just gonna kind of turn the windshield wipers. So we're gonna sit in that 90-90 position. Right, from here, if you can do it hands-free, leave your feet right where they are and switch sides. So the windshield wipers go across the windshield one way, and then we go back the other way. So let's do about 5 of these each side. Just working your way through. You can also put your fingertips behind you just to help here. You'll still get the mobility, like you'll still get the movement that we want, but you'll just have a little bit easier time doing it because you've got fingertips behind you to help. All right. Good, okay. So we're gonna do a 5-minute circuit here, 3 exercises, lots of mobility stuff. What I'd really like to get back into, and I don't know if you have the weights at home to do this, would be like a suitcase carry or a carry where you have one heavy weight on your side. One way you can do this, if you have the right band, is you can stand on the band on one side, so it look like this. You're stand on the band with your right foot, and then you pull the band up and just hold. So you may, be able to get some of that action. If you have a heavy enough weight to do a suitcase carry, I'd love to do that today. If you don't, try it with the band, and just make sure we're not going to be doing side bends, but you're going to be holding that weight, staying as tall and strong as you can. And for no particular count, let's call it 10 breaths. And we'll go with that. So that'll be one suitcase carry. So you're just going to walk with one weight for about 30 seconds, and then you'll switch hands and walk with the weight in the other hand, or stand with that band in the other hand for 30 seconds. So that's that. And then we're going to go back to that squat, like the full squat that we did before. So we're just working 10 times. It'll just be a full body weight squat, working into sitting down, and standing back up. So the cool thing is, if you couldn't do it in the beginning, like right now, I'm feeling more mobile. I feel like I can do that now. So 30-second carry on each side. Squat down 10 times. So we're just squatting down into that initial position that we were squatting in before and standing up. We'll do 10 of those. Last thing is going to be a crawl, a crab crawl, or we would call it an inverse crawl, where your belly button's going to face the ceiling. Your hands are back on the floor behind you, right? And then you can move either direction. You can move both directions. So we move forward and backward, right? If that's no good for your shoulders, if that puts your shoulders in a bad spot, just roll over and do a regular crawl. So on your, like a regular foot hand crawl like we would do, okay? So we're gonna cycle through those 3 for 5 minutes here, and then we've got one challenge at the end, and that'll be the day, okay? So we're gonna start in 10 seconds. Remember, we're gonna do a suitcase carry. I'll kind of keep everybody on pace here. We'll do a suitcase carry, the squats, and then the crawl, okay? Ready? And here we go. Let's do suitcase carry. I'll show you with the band. We have heavy enough weights, but if you stand on the band with your left foot and you're holding the band in your right hand, okay, you should get some of the same effect. Sorry, stand on left, hold with left. You get some of the same work here, just keeping your hips tucked under, staying nice and tall. Think about great posture as you're walking or holding that band. Switch sides. If you feel like you don't have the right band for this, there is still a lot of value to holding less weight, but getting stronger than you need to. So you should feel really locked up through here, really strong, even if the weight doesn't require that. 10 seconds more to hold or carry. Remember, we're staying nice and tall, shoulders level. All right, let's go 10 squats. So we're just squatting down, full mobility here. You can put your feet however you need to put your feet. You can use the roller. You can use the couch. Okay, whatever you need to help you get through this, to get into the biggest range of motion that you can do well. And lastly, let's do 30 seconds of crawl. So what we'll do here, guys, is we'll work through this circuit. It's going to be about a 3 times. So we'll work through everything here 3 times. You can move sideways with this inverse crawl. Move in whatever direction you want to do. Five seconds left. And let's go back to the carry. So if you have limited space, that's okay. You can just walk forward and backward. Think about staying nice and tall, shoulders are level. Again, getting stronger than you need to for the weight that you're using. Switch sides. So this is more than just grip strength. This is core strength, hip strength. Got about 10 seconds left on this side. And relax, weight goes down. Working on those full mobility squats. Remember, it could be to the couch, could be to a stair or a step. Maybe that might be a nice halfway point between the couch and the floor. You can also use your roller. Let me know when you've done 10. As you go, we're trying to keep chest up, right? So if you're wearing a t-shirt and if you're looking at the camera, I should be able to read the logo on your t-shirt as you get down to the bottom. And good. So we crawl. 3, 2, 1, and moving around, belly button facing up towards the ceiling, moving forward and backward. It's usually best if you don't overthink this one, but if you are an overthinker, we should make sure that while your left hand is on the floor, or sorry, when your left foot's on the floor, your right hand should be on the floor. So we always crawl in opposition, crawl with opposites. So you're gonna have a left lower body or left leg and right hand, and then vice versa. 5 seconds. And good. One more time through, guys. We're going to do the carry. Either walking with that weight or holding the band. Switch sides. So again, keeping tailbone down here. Not to the point where you're rounding, but just so that you don't have your chest, your ribs up and your chest out. 5 seconds. And relax. Let's go into the squat. One thing with this too, you want to make sure at the bottom that you don't get that big rotation of your pelvis. So we don't want your tailbone to drop between your legs. So as you go down, we want to keep that tailbone pressed out, coming back up. Keep your tailbone up and out as you go down. And the crawl one last time. Ready and go. Spreading those fingertips out on the floor. If you want to just use this as a stretch for your wrist, you can do that too. Okay, ready and relax. Good job. All right, one last challenge for today. There's a study that's cited quite a bit that links, or I guess at least correlates, longevity with this your ability to get up and down off the ground. Okay, so it's cited a lot. It was a Brazilian study, but what they did was they took people and said, okay, you need to stand, get down onto your butt, and stand back up, and the whole score is out of 10. So if you can do that without touching any limbs or hands or anything to the floor, you get a 10 out of 10. So anytime a knee or a hand or a elbow or whatever you use touches the ground, that's -1 point. So there's 5 points to get down and 5 points to get up. So right now I'm at a 10, okay, the score that I can possibly get. When I sit down on the ground, if I have to put my knee down like that, that's -1. This would be -2. Now I'm sitting on the floor. Now to get back up, this would be minus like 3, 4, right? So anytime a hand or a knee or anything touches the ground, you miss a point. So let's go down to the ground, to your butt, and stand back up and see what score you can get out of 10. I can get a 10 out of 10, but I'm not going to show you how I do it because I want you guys to think through it yourselves. So it's sitting down to the ground and standing back up, getting as many of those points as you can. So Kelly, you would have been just -1 there standing up as I saw your hand hit the ground. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a -1. So this is correlated with longevity. I think just because, the more mobile you are, the more you can move, the more you probably do move. If you're overweight or haven't moved in a long time, you're probably not going to have the practice for this. I'll show you my technique. Doesn't have to be yours. I saw a lot of people, just kind of squatting all the way down, almost doing a deep squat like we did. But I'll cross my feet and just sit down kind of Indian style, or crisscross applesauce, I guess you should say. And then just using the outside of my feet to stand back up. It's just kind of a fun challenge and a cool study that, can be a goal. So a lot of the things we do in this class are kind of revolve around, like with the windshield wiper knees, a lot of that is let's do that with our hands off the ground. And so a lot of what we do is kind of that kind of mobility and not needing to use your hands for help. So good job today, guys. I've got a little bit of a sweat going. Breath came up a little bit. And we're off to a great start today. Think of today as sort of a recovery day. Jesse is going to be doing a breathing class at 5:30 tonight. Obviously, if you're here right now, you are breathing, but we want to make sure that you can use the proper mechanics and things like that. So if you want to pop into that 5:30, go ahead and do that. If you really, if you want to get your breath up and you want to get sweaty today, check the YouTube channel and get one of those workouts. The other ones that are not Thursday workouts will be what you're looking for. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome job, guys. See ya. Have a great day.